So I thought, like, how can we get that same sound? And we're gonna put reverb before the tremolo. And we're gonna want long decay. Go wet all the way up. So here's a chord progression. In this video, I'm going to share with you guys my approach to writing a song inspired by the band Cloakroom and their song Bending. I'll be showing you guys the riff, the structure, I'm going to record real drums, and as far as guitar, I'm going to go direct in. Even with the bass, I'm going direct in. I could have used MIDI drums, but to be honest, I just felt like playing the drums. And the drum parts are pretty simple, so if you've heard the song Bending by Cloakroom, there's nothing too technical, which is better for me because I'm not primarily a drummer, I'm a guitar player. Then after I track those instruments, I'm gonna record drums. I'll show you guys a little bit of the mixing and processing that I do in Ableton, and then I'll share with you guys the final track. So let's get into the song idea and the structure. All right, so if you're not familiar with the song Bending by Cloakroom, I suggest you pause this video and check it out. Otherwise, you're gonna kind of be confused. Now their chord progression goes something like 4 to 1 to 6 to 5 and then back to 4, I believe. Also, if you're confused with that, you might want to learn your major chromatic scales, just because that's going to help too. So here's a chord progression. Now that's going to be our intro and our verse. For a change, we can still start on that 4. And we can do that 4 times. Now as far as our vocal melody, I had this in mind. We can go 7, 6, and 5. Now this is what I like to do to see if our vocal melody fits our chord progression. I like to play the root note and then also the lead at the same time. That fits. Now that I'm thinking, I might want to play the lead also while I sing the vocals, just so it kind of triples, because I'm going to overdub the vocals and also add some sort of like tremolo and reverb, everything that you hear in the song Bending. At least I think that's what they use. Playing the lead notes with that vocal melody, which it's going to be the same thing, I feel like it's going to be a little bit more playful, a little bit more adolescent, so I think I might just do that. So since that works out, I'm going to go ahead and track the rhythm guitar, which I'm going to overdub, and then I'll track the drums and the rest of the instruments. Now let's get into the mixing and the post-production process here in Ableton. I'm going to first start off with the drums and then we'll start processing the other instruments. Let me show you guys what it sounds like before I make any of those adjustments though. Nothing too interesting or what we want it to be. So I'm going to shut off all these instruments and then we're going to start with the drums. And then I'll start processing the rest of the instruments. Old faithful J37 stereo tape simulator, and we're going to go to the preset Mastering Fat Titan Open. Okay, now let's go to the bass. We'll go compression. EQ. Now we're going to want to cut, actually we can do 2 things. We can cut the bass to where our kick lives, or we can add a glue compressor and then throw in a side chain.
hit this little drop down thing, go sidechain, and then kick. That way we don't lose the kick. Now, there is a part in bending where I believe it's the chorus part or the change where there's distortion in the bass, because I don't really hear it in the guitars. Maybe it is in the guitars, but I thought it was the bass. So what we can do is we can duplicate this bass, one distorted, which would be this one, and it's only going to be in the change, which our change is somewhere around here. Okay, so we don't want the exact same adjustments. So what we're going to do is some overdrive, cut the subs, because we want the distortion to like cut through. Also, what I want to do is add some reverb just to kind of smooth everything out towards the end. Yeah, I don't want too much tail. Let's hear both basses. To boost more of the low frequencies like the subs. That's just gonna be, it's gonna be for a clean bass. Alright, that sounds really cool. Let's go to our guitars now. And we're gonna make the same adjustment for our guitars, so we can just do our effects in the same track. Yeah, sounds pretty flat and plain. I'm going direct in on my 18i Focusrite Scarlett, and you're going to hear how EQ and saturation is just going to kind of make it sound a lot better. It's going to open it up. You can get rid of some of that low end. Boost around here. And once I start panning, it's going to clear a lot of those frequencies out. Same adjustments for the guitars. We're just going to put it on our lead. I'll probably add a little bit more distortion though for our lead. Let's move on to our vocals. Our vocals are going to be fun. There's this really cool effect on the song Bending where it's like, it's a tremolo, but it's also like a long sort of tail of tremolo. So I thought, like, how can we get that same sound if there's no tail on the actual tremolo effect, right? So I was thinking maybe doing reverb, and then, duplicating one track, doing reverb, and then having the tremolo after the reverb. So it kind of just trails. Because if we do the reverb after tremolo, the tremolo effect is going to get lost, and you're not going to really be able to hear that sort of, that modulation. Words left unsaid. Let's add that distortion that I was talking about. Excuse me, the overdrive. Cut the dynamics. Words left unsaid. We don't want too much drive. Yeah, you can tell the difference. I'm gonna duplicate. Let's use the same effects, but let's do that tremolo that I was talking about. Rate, we want to go 32. And we're going to put reverb before the tremolo. And we're going to want long decay. Go wet all the way up. So you don't need to be really, like, you don't have to listen to what the words are saying. We just want that effect. trying to like push transients and just make the drums sound more punchy, we can do that. And we can exaggerate, which is always fun. All right, that's more or less where I want it, so let's hear it from beginning to end.
Well, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys found this one helpful. If you want to support me and what I love to do, then hit the thumbs up, leave a nice comment, share, subscribe if you're not. And also, I've been seeing your guys' suggestions from the last video, and I am going to take all those into consideration, so just be patient. I guess until the next video, I will see you in the next video.